been trying to summarize the day, and which actually includes part of yesterday, and a couple of themes keep sticking with me. And I've asked a couple of people, and I'm going to call people, and I don't know if they're still here in the room. So I may call your name, and maybe you're here, and maybe you're not. But yesterday, I've been saying this more and more. Yesterday was an opportunity for me to be in a room and dream out loud. It was like really amazingly profound to do that. And if anybody's still here from Underground Ministries and our journey, one of the things that they shared with us, I'm going to say in the last month or so, they've come up with a new set of values and principles. And one of them is to be able to dream in decades. And that has so stayed with me. The number of people in our communities that don't get to dream about tomorrow. They don't get to dream about where they want to be. And they're talking about working with young people and people who have come out of jail. How can they dream looking forward in decades? I'm just going to say, I was so moved by that, and it has stayed with me. And so the notion that we get to come together and dream out loud is really pretty profound. So thank you for doing that with us. This morning, Malenko and the exercises, one of the things that was really profound in that stuff and the things that people did with, pieces of cotton and buttons and stuff, what I heard were themes about possibility and opportunity, things that we could actually gravitate to. It would be very easy for us. We could probably all sit in this room and talk about what's wrong. There's a lot of stuff. But I just heard these overwhelming themes and a hunger to do things that were moving us to a different place than the place where we are today. And again, to be in a room with people who are just expressing hope is pretty powerful, and for me, just very nourishing. So I also think about Clarice Bailey, and some of you may have been in rooms with Clarice where Malenko used the word practice a lot. And one of the things that Clarice taught us is that when you practice, you don't become better. When you practice, you become different. And so this notion of how do we build some of these muscles, how do we get better at community engagement, how do we get better at things? And Malenko would say you practice. This notion of practicing and allowing ourselves a little bit of grace and a little bit of permission to sometimes stumble, we don't always have. But I'm going to just encourage practicing is good. And for those of us who are on the tailing arc of our careers, I've practiced a lot, and I'm still practicing today. My kids would tell you that in a heartbeat, all the things that I don't necessarily get right. We live in a world that wants us to believe that if we separate ourselves, we're going to be safer. That somehow safer is equal to being separate, and there's something very dangerous about us coming together. And I'm going to encourage that it's time for us to maybe be a little bit dangerous, to put ourselves in the position of not asking for permission to do what we need to do, but maybe even not asking for forgiveness. But I look at what you all have talked about and come up with, and the ability to make a difference is sitting in this room. Whether you're still here at 4 o'clock or you had to leave early, there's so much power and richness sitting here, and there's nothing in the way except for us. And maybe that's that scarcity mindset or that, notion of there's something in the way, but I'm just amazed at what you all put together and what you described. So thank you for sharing that too. So here's the names that I had. You all tell me if you're still here. Hanaro, I know, needed to leave. Anybody who needed to leave, I forced them to go with Natalie and record something before they left. I had Malik and Devin. Malik, you're still here. You amaze me, especially, with things that are happening in your family. Is Veronica still here? Woohoo! I'm going to bring you up here too. Trina, are you still here? Yay. One of the things that we're trying to figure out is how do we, and I think you heard this theme, come on. You heard this theme of like what are the good things that are happening around our region. And when I think of like this group of people that were here up in these chairs, this is also the North Sound region. This is what it looks like. Every day when somebody says to me, like, this area is so white, Washington's so white, and I just want to go, that's not what I saw in those films. That's not what I'm seeing in the people who are sitting here in tables with you. So we have to stop listening to them. I'm serious. It's like if I could just tune them out, I'm going to go, I no longer have to believe them because there's something else that's happening here. So I'm going to start with this person because, you know, for you all may not know, but there are 9 ACHs in Washington. We are the only state in the country that has ACHs that cover the whole state. And we've sent some folks to North Central, and there are 2 people who came over from North Central to spend the day with us today. And so they're not from North Sound. The other person's only been working for what, like 8 days, and he's just begged me to not make him come up here and take a microphone. But I asked, like, what made you come up here? Come over from Wenatchee. Are you in Wenatchee? All right.
Oh, wow. Well, I wasn't prepared to talk, but let's see. I've had the honor to have been working with Monty and Stacy from Community Initiatives, and my role in North Central ACH, formerly known as North Central ACH, where we rebranded to Thriving Together North Central Washington. But I basically have the equivalent job as Keiko, and I'm trying to convene, or I'm trying to stand up a network similar to this Collaborative Action Network, and have had the honor to meet some of the North Sound staff last fall. I started only over a year ago, and I am just at awe and so inspired by the work that not only the North Sound team has done on this side of the mountains, but the amazing group of people from all walks of life and different sectors that you guys bring together across different frameworks, and how you guys tap into love and belonging and everything that really makes us who we are. And I just came to see what it was all about because we're planning our fall summit, and I wrote down a bunch of great ideas, and I'm just happy to be over here, and I look up to you guys very much.
And some of us may come join you over there in the fall. So thank you. Atrina, because I know you're like itching to get out the door here. But Atrina actually brought, I don't know how many of those cards you brought, but was sharing just like a very cool project, the 5K. And I'd love for you to just talk about that. Just, again, another opportunity.
I have to, though when I walked in this building, I did not know what I was walking into because I've never been to an ACH anything. I've seen you all on Zoom, and that was great, and then I submitted a project with the help of Miss Cynthia over there, and still not understanding because, at some point, organizations start to look like each other, it seems like, over decades and so forth. But I walked in this room, and it's not like that. Here, so diverse. And the energy, there was a complete and utter energy shift. And everything that you all emulate is based on and is rooted in healing and self-expression and collaboration and love and networking. And oh my goodness, this is what you all are doing? And I started thinking, because I'm an organizational thinker, I'm working on some women's wellness projects. I'll get into that in a minute, but I started thinking, what kind of leadership team has to be in place to attract this group of humans? And it almost brought me to tears out there. And that's why I just had to tell you that it's beautiful what you all are doing. And if this ripples out there, then you are absolutely making an impact and absolutely making the world a better place. I love the fact that our women's wellness programs are starting finally, thanks to the support of ACH, and we get to do women's wellness. I wrote a book called The 8 Quadrants of Wellness. It's on Amazon. You can pick it up there. But it's really a journal that goes along with the workshops. And So I get to work in front of a group of 126 employees, 150 employees, and just talk to them about the different areas of wellness beyond just the basic emotional wellness and physical wellness, but even occupational wellness. And I got a chance to hear a lot of you are working in your love projects, and that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness, I could do this all day. So, the 5K, Women's Wellness 5K in Marysville, October 19th. And I passed out all my flyers. So I'm going to have to email you guys some to put in through your, yeah. But we're hoping that we get some women out there that are walking and running. We're going to do some promotions all the way through October through the 5K, just supporting wellness, getting ladies together to go and do walks and hikes and things with their families. We're hoping to have some mother-daughters signing up for the 5K. Maybe, walk with your grandma or, through the 5K or something. We just want to encourage you to mix up a lot. We do need volunteers, but we'll talk about that another time too. But you all are just beautiful to me, and I'm just thankful to be here. I had no idea what I was walking into, but oh my word, beautiful.
Thank you. I think that's the best description of North Sound ACH. I don't know what I'm walking into, but so Devin, I'm going to go to you next. I don't even know how we met, to be totally honest, but Devin has been leading this effort with clinicians. I think this coming spring will be like the 5th year of doing a North Sound Race and Health Equity Conference. And I'm ecstatic because about, 2 weeks ago, we signed an agreement with Devin to bring that conference kind of into our fold. There are other pieces of it around a scholarship and an alliance, and maybe we'll turn it into a clinical community of practice or something. But I'm just really, I'm so honored that Devin has agreed to kind of come and work with us. And I'd love for you to say, why are you here? Because, last year, I gave the microphone to Marcus and Matthew. So, what would make you carve out your day to be here?
I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing today, to be honest. Without going deep into my own personal story, I'll say this. I lost my only sister in 2003. And I had to learn how to talk to people and make relationships. And now I look out and I see my sisters here. And then I lost my father in 2015, and it's okay, what do you do, and then my mom in 2021, and it's been okay, now half my family is at Sunnyside Cemetery, but family is all I know. I don't know. So I think what brings me here is family. And y'all feel like family to me. And the community that's here is special. It's special because we're not bound by our identities or our incomes or even where we live. It's a 5-county region that the North Sound ACH serves, but we're bound by our passions, by our love language, by our care for our community and our hopes for ourselves, our neighbors, our kids. And that to me is just an incredible bond. So I love being a part of this. The North Sound Race and Health Equity Conference, we've had 4 where we just share some education with clinicians and healthcare administrators and public health professionals. And then we also support BIPOC medical and nursing students who are pursuing their education. We support them through scholarship with funds as well as mentorship. So that's pretty much it. Everything I do, I try to keep under what I call repping for health equity. So representation, being able to see people doing the things that we want to be doing or who can help us along the way. Education, for the powers that be, and then also like a two-way education. I don't believe in the holders of knowledge. I really loved this circle, being in a circle that was special today, and policy, because we need targeted interventions for universal outcomes, as John A. Powell talks about with targeted universalism, and I just find all of that in the North Sound ACH, and so I'm happy to be a part of this in whatever way, and I really, really hope that the people that I invited down who also walked in the room and didn't know what to expect were uplifted and encouraged and had a great day. Thanks.
I love that you think about us as family, because I don't know about you all, but I have like a really huge, chaotic, like a family that I love, but they're all over the place. And I have to love them even if they're not like me, right? You know, that's part of what you do for family. And, you know, we added about 2 years ago the beginnings of this language about leading with love. And it has taken us in some directions about how does that ground us in our work. And so I'm going to like let you finish us off here, sir, but the notion of leadership and what it means to have it be coming from the community, not like we're going, hey, we've got a grant opportunity, who wants to lead, who wants this $40,000 to do something, but we're being inspired by what we hear from community. It's going to drive us to what we do next. So would just love to know. And you know, again, I just think of what you and your family are dealing with today. Like, why are you here today when you had a choice to be at other places?
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Ms. Baxter and the ACH for having me. Malik James, Fatherhood the Foundation. Going through some family things, but a transition is always good. We don't look at it as death. We look at it as a transition to the next life. And my grandmother's passing away. But the reason why I'm here today is for the community, to give back. I was wrongfully in prison about 10 years ago, or actually 14 years ago. I've been out 14 now. But it just, going through things, you know, everything happens for a reason in your life. You don't know it at the time, but it's happening for the better. It's happening for the good. So I went through what I went through. But I learned one thing. I learned a few things through my transition, but one thing that stuck out the most was community. And the connection to be able to communicate with other people, like-minded, not like-minded, just the power of communication. So I was asked today to just give a wrap-up of what I gathered for being here this week, yesterday and today. Feels like a long week, too. So I just took a couple of quick notes. I'm not going to hold everybody here. I just thank everybody for being here. But what I gathered today and yesterday from this conference was community is communicating with unity. And I believe today we united as a group of like-minded individuals who are striving to reach some of the same goals, short and long term. I would like for just a second for everybody, I know we lost a lot of flowers right now. A lot of flowers are not here, but I want everybody to take a look around right now. Just look at your neighbors, look at everybody around you, and just know that we're a community garden. And we are different flowers, we're different shapes, we're different sizes, we're different colors. But at the end of the day, we make the garden. And so the more flowers that are in the garden, everybody knows this, the beautiful the garden is. So the more people we have together in this community striving for the same thing, same goals, same hearts, we get things accomplished. And I've seen that on the inside with the inmates, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. When it was time to get the guards' attention, we came together. When it's time to get the government's attention out here in the streets, we need to come together. And so we're losing a lot of young black fathers, a lot of young white fathers, Hispanic fathers, Native fathers. Fatherhood, the foundation, started in prison around fathers. And I seen the hurt in these fathers' eyes not being able to be home with their children. And I wanted to connect that gap when I came home to help these children connect back with their fathers and to help some of these fathers to transition successfully as I have, and Tony and some of the other brothers from that's here have done. So that's our goal, to give back to the next generation so that they don't have to go through what we went through, and each one teach one. So I just thank the ACH for having me here and my family. Everybody that's been a part of my journey in Bellingham. I've only been up there for 3 years, but it's been successful for me. I don't see a lot of racism, but I know it's there. And so we just try to combat it with love. And that's at the end of the day, that's all we can do is just love our neighbors, love our enemies even more. And that's hard, but we got to do it. And it's one of the hardest things I have to work on right now is loving my enemies. So I struggle to tell everybody, just love your neighbor. Tomorrow's not promised. Today is a day you've never seen before and one you'll never see again. So stay loving in the moment, stay alive and present. And I thank you guys.
Oh. All righty. So, 2 announcements that I want to make, well, maybe 3. Again, I want you to go, the folks, except for North Central, this is North Sound. Like, don't let people convince you that this region looks different than the people you've been seeing all day today. Quiniqua Chemistry mentioned that, we did this artist in residence program. It was kind of a beta test for us, and like what a wild experience it's been. We are gonna do it again, and we've learned a lot this year. Not exactly sure what the focus will be yet, but keep your ears open. I don't know if it'll be photography or videography or something else, but having a poet in residence around social justice issues has been pretty profound for us this year. So we also are going to be launching a BIPOC healing fund, and that'll probably get launched. I'm looking for Haley. I'm going to say maybe like in September. It's something that we've been working on for a number of months. And every time somebody pings me and says, is it ready? Is it open yet? I'm like, it's so close. So that's going to get launched, and we're hoping that we continue that year after year, kind of looking forward. It's hard being a leader in this space. It is harder being a leader of color in this space. And, one of the things that I'm just going to use the first person that I was not taught how to do was to rest. I was never taught that that was an okay thing to do. As a female leader of color, if I rested, that meant you're not really cut out for the job, right? And so it's taking a toll on leaders around our region. And at the same time, in the whole world of DEI, there is a national movement to take the word equity off the table. And so we started our DEI belonging community practice last year, kind of feeling like we were, like when there's a tsunami, one of the things is the water starts to pull out because there's something coming. We kind of had a sense that something was coming, have been kind of stunned at what has been happening here in the last probably quarter. So we want to take whatever dollars that we have to leverage and make sure that we put some investment there. And so you're just going to be seeing some things from us looking forward. And then lastly, as a reminder, we do our convening for 2 days at the beginning of the year and 1 day in August. So you're also going to get really soon an announcement of, hey, we've carved out January 20th and 21st. Meg always chuckles when I look on the calendar and go, these are the dates, this is it. But the notion of continuing this, building a movement here in this region, other parts of the state are going like, well, why can't we do that? And it isn't because of the ACH, it's because of you. I mean, I just can't tell you that to have people who are willing to come into a room when they don't know what they're coming into, that is not typical. Because most of us come into a room because I've seen the agenda, I know who the speakers are, I know whether I need to stay at 10 or can I leave at noon? Like that's how we typically look at kind of gatherings. The fact that you all are willing to help us build this future is what makes this region different. So our team has nothing but gratitude for you as we end each and every one of these days. We like beam for about 2 or 3 days before we start going. So like, what did we do wrong that we should do better? But you know, just a lot of gratitude to, and I'm gonna start with Keiko, Michaela, like Meg, Natalie. Like there were so many people who were part of like running through this day, and then folks that you might not have seen in the background, but and our relationship with, like, you know, getting to meet these new filmmakers. I'm excited for whatever comes next for you all. You know, we have Remy that, you know, it's just been amazing to watch the growth there and showing the setting sun. I feel like we're in, like, I don't know, the 19th year of our partnership. It just feels like I've always known you. But, you know, the richness that's here is unbelievable. And I just want you all to feel that richness. So I hope you'll join us out in I'm assuming it's in the lobby. I need somebody to go, yes, it's in the lobby. Thank you. I hope you'll join us out in the lobby and just like find us, chat. But thank you. Thank you for deciding to spend your day here with us. We are just so grateful.